Here is 7 steps you can take to hopefully prevent any mold issues in your house as we move into fall here in the Northern Hemisphere. And just keep in mind, 70 to 90% of homes have some kind of mold issue. So if there is already something there, you certainly don't want to make it worse. So step 1, schedule an HVAC service appointment, preferably before you switch from the cold to heat blowing through your airways. If there's any contaminants or anything that's taken seed inside your HVAC system, you don't want to blow all that in so that you're breathing it all in, it's getting on your clothes and everything like that. So have a good quality company come and service the HVAC. Number 2, check for structural issues. See if there's been any water intrusion anywhere around the window seals. Is there any cracks anywhere? Have a look around the home's exterior. Make sure there's just nothing that stands out that will allow outdoor air and contaminants to get inside. Number 3, maintain your gutters. The last thing we need is clogged and faulty gutters, because then moisture is going to build up there and it's an easier way for it to get in the home if there's a weak spot anywhere. So we need to make sure those are all cleaned out. Number 4, assess the fireplace. Before you light the fire for the first time for the season, have a professional come out just to clean it and make sure that there's, again, been no water intrusion anywhere and maybe some mold growing that's now going to blow in and you and your family are going to breathe it in. Step 5, open the doors and windows for ventilation. If you do have any mold issues inside the home, then the worst thing you can do is keep breathing it in over and over. So as soon as the air's not the 100 degrees of summer, and it's not, obviously if it's minus 20 below, you're not going to open your windows. But if the temperature outside is at all reasonable, even just to crack a window a little bit, then that's going to get fresh air coming in from outside, and that's going to dilute any problem that you may have brewing inside your house. That's really, really important. Number 6, deep clean. Let's go through the house and deep clean as many of the microscopic bugs and pathogens and wet spots as possible where mold could have been starting to grow, because whatever's growing on benches and by windowsills and everything else, that's then eventually going to get into the air. So where do you want to look especially? Obviously the tops of door frames, tops of cabinets, wall decor, behind kitchen appliances, all the hard to reach places, and especially bathrooms and kitchens, because that's where a lot of stuff is going to be wet and collecting moisture. And number 7, test your dust. You want to get something like a dust test like this. This is the one I recommend. It's really cheap, really easy to use. You get that sent to you, you follow the instructions, you collect dust from certain places in the house, and then you have an expert at that company who's going to go over the results with you and help you understand if you do potentially have a mold problem or not. If you don't, great, they're going to give you some things you can keep doing to keep your house mold free. And if you do, they're going to make recommendations on what you should do, if you should get an ERMI test, if you do get one, what you should ask of that tester to make sure they're not just getting an air sample from the middle of the room, all the stuff you need to know to be educated enough to challenge the people who come and do those tests to make sure they find these danger spots so that you and your family can breathe clean air and live a healthy life. And one thing I didn't mention when we were talking about checking the exterior of the house, the thing that you definitely don't want to forget to have checked every year, especially if you're in a more harsh climate, is your roof. Too many people ignore that until there's some kind of bad storm and then they're worried about it. It should be an annual check, the same as all the other things. When you're checking the exterior of the house, cleaning out the gutters, have a professional come and check your roof as well, looking for wet spots, leaks, all those kind of things. If you do those 7 things, you give your family the best chance of having a healthy indoor environment throughout the winter, and hopefully none of you are then going to be breathing in mold and dealing with the toxicity that comes with that. Now, if you've got questions about what to do if you're dealing with mold toxicity, or you want to know more about the dust test, just leave a comment below and I'll make sure I answer all those questions for you. And of course, don't ever forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can always follow along with the next videos we produce.